This is Replicant Fish. Welcome back. Glad you could join me again. So I hope you're doing well on this fine day. And I want to start by saying this. If a tree falls in a forest and there's no one there, does it make a sound? Very old saying. If there are no ears to hear it, does it need to make a sound? Does the sound exist without the receptors of ears? But I say that to say this. How many women do you believe are neglecting their looks simply because there aren't any men to see them, to see how they are when there's no one around, to see how they look when there's no one around, especially a man, especially men, us as men. You see, as I've said before, our eyes and attention are important. They're valuable. They are like gold to women. Now, of course, they will not tell you this. There's no power in telling men the power they have over them. There's no power in that. They get nothing from it. They can just enjoy it, but they get nothing from telling you what they get from our attention and eyes. And I have an article about that from the New York Times. FOMO is over. Give in to the joy of letting go. As the days of quarantine drag on, many women are reveling in the relinquishment of high heels, painful waxes, and constricting garments. My God, so they're becoming trolls, bloody troll women. You can't be sure if she's trolling you or if that's how she actually looks now, you know. But seriously, by Ruth Lafayette. Self-seclusion week 1. I've been planning to watch over the health of loved ones, but I'd also be looking forward to having time on my hands, long idle hours during which I'd administer liberal doses of self-love. Self-love? Is that what she's calling it? Yeah, well, until she runs out of batteries, then it's another story. Ordinarily, that would have meant communing with my wardrobe, weeding out non-essentials, planning my skin to ageless perfection. That's not going to happen. The wall says so. Tending to visible roots and trying to stick with a diet of ripe avocados and sprouts. My God, how thrilling. Week 2. I found myself ditching those overzealous routines for a vigorously streamlined plan of action. Listen to this. I've razored my hair to within an inch of my scalp. A monastic look. Now, I said this some videos back of how some women, following or within a traumatic situation, they would cut their hair, as in after a breakup or something horrific happening to them that bothered them emotionally. Some women would cut their hair. Some. They do this as a form of taking back control of their life, of being in control of something. A powerful thing to women is their hair, for them to adjust it at their will. For some women, it's how they reclaim some sort of control in their lives. So understand, many women in lockdown right now, obviously they do not feel in control of their lives, as this woman is showing you. But let's carry on. A monastic look, I know, but somehow in tune with my cloistered state. I've trimmed my nails to the quick and discarded a cabinet full of salves and lotions in favor of some 99 whatever pure ivory soap, okay? Week 3, I've turned my back on the ascetic life, eating what I love, bananas in ripe quantities, dark chocolates, generous dollops of peanut butter mashed into just about everything. I've banished spandex and am wafting around my living space in an all-forgiving kaftan, congratulating myself for dispensing with other people's notions of what a woman looks like. Though everything she described was what she seemed to like doing. You can't blame men for all the things you're doing yourself to make yourself look good for men. You're doing it for yourself as well, it's not just for men. But either way, the point is, it shows you that without our presence, without our attention, without our eyes, how so many women don't have a need to take care of themselves almost. How in a sense, when men aren't around, how they let themselves go. You have to wonder, if women that get little to no male attention, if they just give up anyway and let themselves go, because men don't see them and men may barely ever see them. And if they do so, it's just for a quick bust and move. And then he would flee because he wants no one to see that he has smashed you. My God, the world is cruel. Still, I had to wonder, with few beauty tools at hand and no pressing reason to get gussied up, would I work more efficiently, reflect more profoundly, and get in touch with my authentic self? Who knows? Femininity, it's been noted, is a performance, as Transformer women know all too intimately. Would functioning without an audience make hash of our self-image? Would it undermine the foundations of our identity? Or would it free us to divert our energies in loftier directions? Who knows? Who knows indeed? Now you see, the last paragraph, where she spoke about functioning without an audience, and would she and can she function better without an audience? You see, here we have a woman herself explaining the stage show narrative herself, the stage show analogy of women pretending to be this and look this way because they know they will be seen and judged. But now the fact is, many women can live in the backstage. They can be the backstage woman where no one can see her, where she can envelop herself in either painful memories or maybe do something more productive, as this woman is saying. The point is to understand how valuable your attention is to these women and how some of them crumble and fall apart without it. You see, some women actually believe that the money they have or their job makes them more attractive, when truly, in reality, most of the time it doesn't. Women seem to think we care about the same things that they do, when the truth is many men would prefer a woman that looks good, in shape, put together, rather than an unattractive woman with a great job. Harsh, but true. Same as women that don't date broke men. Same as women that don't date men that aren't in shape. Same as women that don't date men that don't look a certain way, the way they want him to look. We all have our choices. And as a man, I choose to be single because I understand what I have to choose from. You know, I can say a unicorn exists out there somewhere, all that nonsense. I could say all women aren't bad, but my point to this is, even if the world were to change and women became different in some way, better, if you will, whatever, that would not make a difference to me. I would still bust and move, but it wouldn't make a difference. I still wouldn't want marriage. I still wouldn't want a long-term relationship. I wouldn't want any more children. I still wouldn't want the heavy commitment. But that's just me. You see, because this is why I like when women say what they really want and think and feel. When they say we're monsters, we're all bad, destructive men. Because my point of view right now is to give women rope. Give women as much rope as they need. In fact, set the rope alight. Give them this flaming rope. Go on. My point of view is to let it burn. That's not to do anything. That's just to watch. It's not to stop women from being themselves, revealing who they are. It's not to stop them from selling themselves. Hell no. Hell no. In fact, I encourage women to do more of this. If you're a woman listening, sign up to OnlyFans. Get the bag. Because that's the most important thing. Doesn't matter if men don't want you because you're selling yourself as such. Doesn't matter, who cares? Just get the bag. You see, my overall point amongst my fish waffling is, for many years, men have been too focused on the stage show chick. The one on the stage. The good looking one. The dressed up one with the makeup and the Spanx and spandex and the heels. Or whatever, the things that make her look good. But right now, we live in a time of the backstage chick, because so many women right now are in the backstage life, going through these things. Many are depressed, lonely, putting on weight, trying to understand where they should be. My point to you as a man is, hey, have your fun if you want to, but do not commit to any woman during this current world crisis. For the simple reason of this, many women right now are desperate because of what's going on. There are articles from 3 months ago where women are on their high horse, bragging, showing off, gloating as to how great their life is and everything is. But right now there are tons of articles, about the suffering. So understand, with suffering, with loneliness, with depression, comes desperation. So some of you may have women throwing themselves at you that would have never paid you any attention before. Be careful, bust and move if you want to, but run. Understand, most women right now are the backstage chick. Most of the world is shut down. There is no stage. They only have backstage. My point is, the reason I want to give women rope is because the backstage woman, as I've said before, is the real woman. That's the real woman. The one that doesn't have to pretend because there's no one to pretend for. Does that make sense? Tree, forest, does it make a sound? They have no one to pretend for. Enjoy yourselves, men. We can see clearly Whom is having the hardest time right now? And whom is the most desperate? You are the prize. Because as men, many of us are still the same, even though the world has changed so much. And that right there is the overall point. In other words, focus, observe, remember. The world is yours. Have a nice day.